I want to look at this because this is key performance indicator data from Fantasy Football Scout. I don't think many people use this stuff, and I built this in the Opta in the members area, and no other site has got this kind of thing. It can be replicated, but no one else seems to do it. What this does, just to explain, it looks at some key indicators of player performance. So minutes per shot in the box, minutes per shot on target, minutes per chance created, touches in the penalty area, crosses, passes received, and passes final third. And what you can do, you can compare this season and that particular stat to last season and look whether there's been a percentage increase or percentage decrease. And therefore you can effectively see if there's any trends in players. Are they showing form, greater form than last season, or are they showing less form? And so it's a really interesting kind of analysis because you don't get that necessarily when you look at data for the season. And looking at this straight away, I've got midfielders in the top table. Mane at the top there. You can clearly see Mane's game so far this season. He's up in his game totally. In terms of shots, he's up 56%. In terms of shots in the box, he's up 39%. And then you look down to Salah, and Salah's, he's got some increases, but there's no doubt from this at the moment that Mane is performing at a higher level, not only than Salah, but a higher level than himself last season.
Compare that to what we were saying after the first game against Leeds.
Yeah. It's a crazy turnaround. So this is something we've got to keep an eye on because penalties obviously has us going to Salah, but Mane is a forgotten figure. But at the moment, he is suddenly showing the numbers that show he could have his best season yet, which is hard to believe given that he was Player of the Year contender last year. Other players I've highlighted here, Souček. I mean, look at Souček. So far, he hasn't scored, but if you look at how he's performing in terms of minutes per shot in the box, minutes per chance created, everything's up on last season. Every key indicator is up. Yeah. So he is a player that is performing higher than he did in his debut season, and yet in his debut season he did very well. So I'm expecting returns from him very, very soon. And further down, Grealish, Barnes, Bowen, these are all players we've mentioned already. I think you're looking at this and going, all of these players are performing their previous key indicators from last season. They're showing improvement and progression. And then you look further down, and United, Fernandes, and look at Rashford.
No, that's the standout to me on that.
His shots have gone down by 105%. 105% decrease. His touches in the penalty area down by 97%. So he's getting the ball less in the area. He's having fewer shots in the box. He's having fewer shots on target. It's a miserable state of affairs for Rashford at the moment. And then you look down to the strikers, and Martial's at the bottom there as well. So, a lot of people are leaving United assets out of their wildcard, and you look at this so far, and you can't blame them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, Aubameyang there as well down the bottom is surprising. 56% less shots, 65% less in the box. And, we sold him sort of after game week 2, and he was always a player who I thought could punish the kind of sellers, because obviously he's listed as a midfielder now, and Arsenal were looking good under Arteta, and they got off to a good start. But looking at that makes me feel a bit better about not having him, so that's nice.
Look at Kane's numbers. I mean, he always, at his best, he was always a stat monster, but
that chance created, 100% improvement.
100% improvement. Now, statistically, he had a poor season last year, so it's perhaps not surprising. But this is clear evidence. We've had the eye test, we've got the goals and assists, but his underlying stats are also outperforming his last season by a mile. And Calvert-Lewin as well is there. He's second to him here in this table. Everything's up. Shots up 30%, shots in the box up 30%, shots on target 58%. He's not having more touches in the area. He's just getting higher quality chances. And it's a big factor. Your mate Callum Wilson there doing well. Lots of green there. Everything's up for him. So
very, very disappointed I didn't go with him. Had him right up until the end. That hurt. Those goals he scored this week really like a knife to the heart.
Yeah, I mean, he is someone who's going to haunt you because you're probably never going to get him in now, are you? And you'll always look back at that pre-season lineup.
Well, I could have got him this week, but I went for Mopé instead. So that probably bite me.
What's happening with Ings there as well? Because that's surprising, because he was a player that I was looking at pre-season. I probably would have had him as the alternative to Werner, but at the moment everything's down. He's had more. I think he's had more touches in the box. No, he hasn't. They've gone down by 16%. He's received more of the ball, more passes, 17% up. But everything else, key indicators are down. 39% reduction in shots, 35 in shots in the box. He's creating fewer chances.
It's Southampton in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
We talked about it in the team stats. They're just creating less in general as a team. Armstrong's out now as well, isn't he? Again, because he's got the COVID.
Yeah, so he's in quarantine.
Chelsea next. Yeah, Ings is. I mean, Luke captained him this week against West Brom, and really unlucky to get 2 points. But you've got to be thinking, if you've got him 8.5, is a lot of money for Ings in a Southampton team. It's all right when Southampton are flying, but in a team like Southampton, who are really a top 10-ish team, 8.5 for a striker, it's quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, him like Jimenez's numbers aren't massively down on last season. He's basically on par, but he's one I'm going to be tracking in this key performance indicator data, because I think I'm worried about Wolves and how it's affecting him. So, yeah, I mean, Fantasy Football Scout has it in the members area. It's KPI tables, much neglected, but I think really useful, particularly in international breaks when you can take stock.
Yeah, we'll come back to them.